Name a lot of examples. The best one going, there's a little thing going around, I don't have it here, of how a canceled Boston Celtics game led to a Mitt Romney Election Day meltdown. And here's the story. It's Election Day, and you get out to vote is important. You've been lining up nationally, all your Republican votes all summer. They call you on the phone and whatever. So Election Day comes around, and the Romney campaign has got 30,000. That's the equivalent of about 2 or 3 Marine divisions. 30,000 of their best and brightest campaign workers, all wired together in 4 of the battleground states: Virginia, Florida, Ohio, and Colorado. And since the Boston Celtics are canceled a few days before the game's off, they decide to locate this whole war room in the Celtics arena, which is not capable of handling the incoming traffic. So on Election Day, what the plan was is if the voters, you contact and the cell phones and texting and whatever coming out of the Celtics arena, by 10 o'clock in the morning, the whole thing crashed. It hadn't been stress tested. Millions of dollars worth of assets pissed down the tube, so that on Election Day, the Romney campaign had no get-out-the-vote effort at all. Nothing. Zero. People standing around doing nothing. They lost Florida by 1.5%.
We got a caller on.
Can I hear him down?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, fellas. It's Saul again here, and boy, you got me fired up this morning.
That's good. That's what we're here for.
Oh, I got to tell you, I was wondering, this whole thing with the President Obama nation, do you think because of his terrible economic performance overall, is this now why he's bringing all these different things up? We've talked about gun control, but this whole, gay rights and gay marriage thing is next, and is this just all that everybody's mind on something else, or what is he doing there?
Well, what kills me is that gay rights has become the #1 priority of the government right now. They can get homosexuals and lesbians so they can marry each other, but they can't get anybody to work, and they really don't care. They've got 47.5 million. I think that's the last census. I believe it's close to 50 million people on food stamps. That's the country of England is only 58 million people. So we have a country on food stamps in our country, and it's terrible. And 1 out of 3 people in the United States are totally dependent upon the government for their next check. There's more people in the cart than there is pulling it right now, and it's going to get worse. And I'm going to be real honest with you. If I didn't have pride and self-esteem and drive like I do, I think I'd jump on the bandwagon, because I'd like to have me a free Obama phone. I'd like to have me free Obama medical. I'd like to have a free house. I'd like to have free food. I'd like to have free transportation. I'd like to have free everything. And it sounds to me like, hey, you're kind of stupid if you work, because the government's going to take care of you. The world has gone to hell in a handbasket.
That is exactly true, and it seems to me that's the way they're setting all this up. I know for my wife Trixie and I, the subject of the gay rights is tough. Our oldest son Doug has a certain lifestyle we don't approve of so very much. Gina Special and Patrick wanted to come down to Florida last month when we stayed at the 157 Riverside Avenue Inn. They wanted to stay in an extra bedroom, and we said, no, this is not our lifestyle. They're very loud, and they play some terrible game called Hypermerky, and I don't know what it is. And we don't want to be around that. We just feel that this is part of the stuff going on with the president, and now they feel so empowered. They flaunt it in front of us. They go to these clubs down there with the loud pulsating music where the boys jump around without shirts and Vaseline all over their ashy nipples and blow whistles that can sing.
Sal, I have...
West, if you want to get...
Yeah, Key West is really... You know what? 10% of the total population, supposedly now with the new government statistic, says that 10% of the United States is gay. Now, they are born that way. I don't think it's a choice. A choice is jumping off the bridge. Okay, that's a choice. You don't have to jump off the bridge. But being gay, you can't help it. I don't hold any buddy that's that way. I have friends that are that way. I don't harbor any hate or anything. I don't condone it, because that's not my lifestyle. But they're born that way. They can't help it. But they don't need to flaunt it in my face, and that's where I draw the line.
That's it, exactly. We of course, we know he was born this way. Doug was special as a young boy. He used to like to dress up in culottes and call himself Debbie and sashay around the house with a pink vinyl bag and so forth. He called it playing shopping and all. I hated it. I would just go out and shop wood, and Trixie would go out and play real shopping and spend our money. We were so upset, but we knew we were doing this thing. And just the final straw for us with him was he would never go to dances in high school, and he'd sit around in his room and, play this Mr. Terry Jackson and the Sun song over and over. We got me back in the 70s. I don't know if you know the song. But I was home, and he would just sit there, and we were like trying to help him, but we didn't know how. We're just going to poop this stuff, and I think we shunned him, and maybe it's time to unshun him, but with the way the political scene is, he seems to be getting worse and worse.
Well, I hate to say this, but it's actually it's humorous that when you're saying all this to us, we're kind of laughing a little bit that you had to go through that. But like I said, people are that way, and we can't do anything about it. But they don't have to flaunt it in front of us, and that's the only thing I hold. I mean, I know a lot of people that are like that, and they can't help it. And I know a guy that my wife knows that does his hair, and he told my wife, he said, I didn't know I was that way till I got 19 years old, and he said, I didn't want to be that way. But he said I didn't have any choice because that's how the cards came out. So I don't harbor anything against those people, but I just don't like it fun. I'll tell you a real quick story. I was in Florida in 1994. I won a trip to Disney World, and I was there, and they had Gay Day. And then the religious bunch were there with a placard saying, don't go to Disney World. Well, I just traveled 2,000 miles, and I'm going to Disney World. I don't care what. Yeah. And I saw things there that I didn't approve of at all, and I was worried about my 7-year-old son, being exposed to that stuff, but it didn't really matter. I mean, he's a Marine now, and so he did fine, everything's okay. But it bothered me that they had to celebrate that particular thing. We don't celebrate our heterosexuality. We accept it. That's the way we are. It's our culture. That's how it goes. But it's really, I'll tell you what, the whole gay rights thing, it's about this. It's as if you're working the railroad, or if you work for Caterpillar and you have a pension coming in, you have insurance benefits, life insurance, and it goes on and on and on and on. You become the receiver of that because you are legally, in the eyes of the law, you are privy to all their stuff. And that's what it's all about. It has nothing to do with the relationships between these people. It has to do with the law.
Well, yeah.
That's all. That's all it's about. And it has nothing else to do with anything.
You're so right, I know. But it's just like you say with it being, all about the jobs and so forth. But some of the portion of the gay population seems to want to just, like you say, flaunt it. I mean, we keep expecting every time we drive to Florida to see him hanging out in a roadside bathroom or something. And I know we drank orange juice when Anita Bryant came out back in the 70s when she took her in her early 80s, and she was tormented for it. We went out and bought more orange juice, if you remember that campaign.
Did we decide you were from Pennsylvania?
Yes.
Yeah. How long have you been here in town?
Well, we're back now again. We'll probably be staying through, I don't know, sometime until the end of March. And if not, we don't have any real set plans. They say we're kind of semi-retired, and I only mention my son's name because he doesn't live here in this town, and we're not using last names anywhere here, but, it's just, you guys are so right on. I never hear a radio show like this back home because they're too afraid to say the truth seems to be.
How did you end up here? How did you end up here in Peoria?
Well, I was born here, we discussed this. Remember, I was the Crawford Shoes guy.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yes, and when we were gone, we were down in Melbourne Beach, and then we just came back again, and we will be around for a while here, staying with relatives and so forth.
That's good. Did you know Dr. Solberg in town here? What was his name? He's what was he, a therapist? Did you know him? Same name you got.
I got to tell you, I've known quite a few therapists, but I don't know him.
Okay, thanks.
But no, fellas, thank you so much for listening to this today, and I want to tell you, keep up the good work, and we accept our son, but we just can't accept him in person. That's just the way it is now. So,
Sal, I don't know what to say. I mean, I never have to deal with this stuff, but I can understand that you go through, a lot of crazy things, and that's your child, and you love your child, and that's just the way it is, and you just don't approve of the activities that he's involved in, but he can't help that. So, just to be honest about it, I think everybody I know at least has someone in their family a cousin, a brother, a sister, an uncle, or somebody that's that way, and you have to accept them. And to hear it from a right-wing conservative like myself say this, I'm realistic, okay? I mean, you know, that's just the way it is, and you have to accept them for what they are, and you have to live with it, and you may not approve of it, but there's nothing you can do. And just let it go, and make the best of it. But, yeah, you could set down some rules about, staying at the house that you don't condone that, but I feel like a psychiatrist right now, like Frazier. No, I'm just telling you, that's just the way it is. Nothing you can do about it, and don't ever think that your son doesn't love you and care about you and respect you. It's just that that's the way things came out. And it's not that big a deal. And in today's society, I really do believe, and I'm very happy that they have become accepted, because they all had to be what's so-called in the closet. Now they're out of the closet, and, that's just the way life is. But don't take it so hard. Don't let it bother you so much. And just look at it this way. You don't have to buy your grandkids any toys for Christmas, because there isn't any. I'm just teasing.
It's so very hurtful, but thank you so much for the therapy session.
Okay, thanks, Saul. Yeah, okay, Saul. Thanks a lot, buddy. It's always good to hear from you, really.
Bye-bye.
Later, buddy.
All right, see you, buddy. People deal with that, and I